There were four of us. You know, two girls, two boys. There was a herd of us. My grandmother had 21 grandchildren.
A big family.
How big?
Big enough to include you.
Like your immediate family?
My immediate family, my extended family on both sides. Really big.
My mom was extremely religious. We were in church almost 3 days out of the week.
For me, my mother was, I won't say religious, but I did have to go to church on Sundays with my grandmother and when I lived with my grandfather.
And I feel like I'm a very spiritual person. I got that from my grandmother. So I can't say any type of religion that I'm devoted to now, but I really hope to, find something for me soon. Because I find it very interesting. My dad's mom, she was like a Baptist, like a Christian like that. See, I'm so weird about religion. Like, it never was forced on me. Even my dad didn't force it on me.
My mother was not strict.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was strict, but not in a religious way. Just about need to be at home.
My mother was, in terms of like sexuality and everything, she was very, very open.
We were very immersed in the church, and so talking about that was very taboo.
Because she was like a prenatal care counselor and for East Bay Paradise.
I think sex was
But honestly, when I think about like the people who really introduced me to like sex or the thought about sexuality were my friends, which is pretty weird.
You learn about sex by osmosis.
Osmosis?
Yeah, you absorbed it, you heard it, read.
well, even though I was carrying around my little diaphragms in there, especially in my handmade little pouch that I would carry everywhere I went, I didn't start having sex until I was 17, almost 18.
I grew up, I don't know if it was fast, but 13. It's coming out the chute smoking.
I can't recall.
So if your peers were losing around age 7, would it? So that's about.
I can't recall. Somewhere around there.
I had my kids at about 19 and a half and 21.
When you first had sex, were you in a relationship or do you not?
At the point in time, I was in a relationship, correct.
And you don't remember how old y'all were? Grade?
Can't recall.
Was it long? A long term?
It was just convenient for the moment, I guess. Because, at that age, you're still young. So.
Yeah. Were you in a relationship?
With their dad, I met him. He was a good deal, say 10 years older than me, so I didn't want to do it with anybody in high school because I didn't want a bad reputation. So I was like, okay, you don't go to my school.
Yeah. Being where you are now, would you change anything?
No.
Why?
It was fun.
No, not really. We're happy where we are, and all the things we've done have led us to this point, so we're happy.
And then another thing was, I really didn't have an orgasm until I was about 26, 27, somewhere between 25 and 27. I'd say about 26, 27. And once I learned about that, then I said, man, what was I doing before?
I don't live with regrets. I don't feel as I didn't think of myself as not being pure after that. I didn't feel like that was it. Like, you know, I gave it up. It's, you know, I just feel like, you know, sometimes I can make better decisions, and I have made better decisions. And, you know, you don't have to be a nympho. You can go without, and just love yourself and really be comfortable with yourself before you take that step with someone. Because that's a very, like, some people don't understand how intimate that is, and some people don't care about it, and that's fine.
That's one thing. If I had it to do again, I probably would not have done it at that age. And maybe would have waited a little more. I definitely would have done it with somebody else. And then the other thing is I didn't go out that much. When I started going out dancing, I felt like, oh, my fun was short-lived because, you know, I got involved in this relationship and I started having babies and then had to shift to another thing. And again, remember, I wasn't having orgasms through any of this. 2 babies and a marriage. No. So.
Do you think how you were open with your sexuality, do you think that had anything to do about the person you are today?
Well, obviously, because, yeah, I have children, but at the same time, you gotta, you know, just deal with the consequences and the repercussions of your actions pertaining to having sex at a young age. It's my little cousin right there. But it definitely changed me and made me a person who I am today.
I don't think it damaged me in any way. It was fun. It was entertaining. So, given all of that, you know, you start somewhere, you learn, you know, and as you grow, you know more and more about what you're doing, how you do what you're doing, and things like that. So, it's a learning experience and then a growing experience.
Right. Well,
Well, that was easy. Yeah, piece of cake.